Jarrod Branthwaite. Really? Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. I hope you guys are doing alright. I hope you are getting into the festive spirit like I am. Can you even see the tinsel I've put up behind me? It is the shittiest little bit of tinsel. You can barely even see it. You can actually barely see it. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict, lads. I hope you lads are having a good day. You'll be happy to know that I managed to get out yesterday. A day that I didn't expect to get out, but I managed to get out yesterday and record November Recreations. Well done, lads. We finally did it. That will be out hopefully Sunday, if not Monday. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Anyway, before we get into anything, please do subscribe to the channel. If you are new around here, we are under 30 subscribers away from 500. It's going to be a tight old squeeze, lads, if we're to get to 500 before the end of the year. But I believe we can do it. So please, please, please help us out. Share the video around and leave a like if you enjoy. Alright? So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's not waste any further time talking shite as we usually do at the start of these videos. I'm going to kick things off straight away with our green box, and I'm giving it to Arsenal. Have Arsenal ever got into the green box on this series? I'm not too sure. I'm honestly not too sure. But they get it this week because Arsenal have moved into the Premier League's top four after a 2-0 victory over West Ham United on, I think it was Tuesday evening. Gabriel Martinelli and Emile Smith Rowe, two of the club's young guns, with the goals to give Arsenal a massive win over West Ham to leapfrog them into the top four in a week really that was filled with controversy for Arsenal surrounding the whole Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang situation, him being stripped of his captaincy after another disciplinary breach. He's had a couple of them now in his Arsenal career and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And I actually respect Mikel Arteta a lot for doing what he did. Obviously, it's never nice to see someone stripped of the captaincy. Arsenal have been quite cursed in that area. But what Mikel Arteta's doing here is he's putting his foot down and he's saying, no, fuck this, not one player is bigger than the club, and I really, really respect that from him. And he's showing an example to the younger players coming through that you can't act the bollocks when you're a professional footballer. You know, you need to follow the rules the same as everyone else, despite your £350,000 a week wage bill. And you know, Aubameyang on paper is supposed to be one of the more experienced stars of this squad, and he's not been acting appropriately off the field, and Arteta's reacted, and you know, he's getting results. The young players are being kept disciplined, they're being kept in check. So I really respect Arteta, and he's getting the results. A massive, massive victory for Arsenal, who will now feel that top four is well within their grasp after what was a really, really poor start to the season. Come good, they went on that really good run. They had a bit of a wobble recently, losing to Liverpool and Manchester United, but they're back now. They're into the top four. Obviously the chasing pack have games in hand because of the whole games being called off because of COVID, which is what we're actually going to talk about next in our yellow box. We might as well move on to it now while we've referenced it. Will the Premier League be called off because of COVID? Obviously, there just seems to be an extra influx of coronavirus cases in Premier League camps over the last week to 10 days, and obviously as a result of that, many games have been called off. Many games this week, and obviously I think half of the games at the weekend that are due to be played have been called off. Tottenham have been involved, Burnley, Leicester, Manchester United, they've all had outbreaks in the camp. If we're being honest, probably a lot down to the new variant that's coming out. Is it Omicron, I think is what it's called. But what would I personally like to see? I mean, I don't want to see football called off. I'm a football channel, this is where I get most of my content from. But if teams are going out depleted, like even the teams that have played this week, there have been depleted looking teams. You look at the Everton team, you look at the Leeds team that played against Manchester City, you look at Chelsea's team, I suppose a lot of players out for them. Teams aren't going to be able to play their best 11 every week. What's the point? You know, it kind of ruins the whole competition of it all. And if some teams are getting the chance to rest up and get their best players back while other teams are depleted and looking like they're struggling, what's the point in continuing? In my opinion, I think you need to cancel it if it gets to this point where we have half the games called off of a Premier League weekend. I don't think that the Premier League have much choice but to just call off the games because, as I said, it's just unfair on many different levels. And I don't want to, I'm one of the last people that would want to see, football called off. But I think it's one of those situations, it's needs must. You need to look at the integrity of the league. You need to look at the effect it's having on the league and on the individual clubs. That's my thoughts on it. I think it's a very, very strange situation to see so many players dropping like flies at the minute. But my take on it would be, if they have to cancel the league, they have to cancel it for the next couple of weeks because it's getting a bit ridiculous at this point. I think it's fair to say. Let's move on to our stinker of the week then, and I've given it to Leeds United. I talked about how they have a depleted squad, and we will talk about that in a minute, but when you concede 7 away to Manchester City, it is not a good look at all. Leeds have made a really, really bad start to the season, I think it's fair to say. It was just kind of stark contrast between Leeds and Manchester City, wasn't it? I mean, Manchester City playing the game at a pace, at a canter. Their passing was unbelievable. Tempo, like, incredible. Like, it was typical Pep ball, really. Scoring unbelievable goals. Like Kevin De Bruyne, I think it was the second goal. An unbelievable strike. And, you know, you could argue that Manchester City are one of the few clubs that haven't really been affected by the current outbreak of COVID cases in their camp, because their squad depth is so incredible. And to be honest, looking at their team from the other night, it didn't really look like they had too many key men missing. Obviously, I talked about Chelsea, and I will be talking about Chelsea after this, but obviously Lukaku, Werner, Hudson-Odoi, Ben Chilwell was already out anyway. Kovacic has COVID as well. Liverpool then, you look at them last night, you know, did a lot of late tests coming through. Obviously Van Dijk was ruled out, wasn't he? Fabinho as well. Like, they had a couple missing themselves, Liverpool. But Manchester City's depth is just absolutely incredible. Something that can't really be said for Leeds, and who are obviously in the stinker box this week. And I will just point out they are missing lots and lots of key players as well. Obviously Liam Cooper, the captain, obviously centre back, a key player for Leeds. Robin Koch has been out for quite some time. Calvin Phillips, obviously a massively important player in the middle of the park. Patrick Bamford has been missing a lot this season as well. Rodrigo out the other night as well. Big money signing from last season. So, you know, I will give Leeds a little bit of leeway here. I won't completely rip them to shreds because, I mean, Man City already did that the other night. But all joking aside, Leeds' squad is looking completely depleted at the minute. And, you know, I will say, when them players do come back, I think Leeds will be okay in the long run. A lot of their heavy defeat the other night can be blamed on the depleted squad, but at the same time, the players that were on the pitch weren't very good, were they? Not at the races. So those are the boxes. I am going to end this video talking about Chelsea. I don't think it's incredibly off the wall to say that Chelsea's title chances are definitely in trouble now. I think I won't say they're completely finished because you never know, but at the same time, you know, it is only 4 points off Manchester City, 3 off Liverpool, but last night's draw with Everton just simply not good enough at all. And, you know, I talked about Chelsea's squad being depleted. Look at the players that still came in. You know, the likes of Pulisic, of Ziyech. Yeah, we didn't necessarily have a centre forward, but Chelsea's squad was literally far, far superior to Everton's last night. And obviously Chalobah and Kante came back. Yes, as I said, no Werner, no Lukaku, no Hudson-Odoi, no Kai Havertz either. So there was obviously, we were a bit stretched. You know, our bench was definitely ropes. When you're having to bring on Barkley and Sal Niguez, I mean, that's definitely ropes. I get that. But the starting 11 that Thomas Tuchel put out was by far good enough to beat that Everton team. Even Everton's best team, I feel like that team, Chelsea's team last night, would have beaten. And, you know, some Chelsea fans will cry about the amount of people out with injuries and COVID and this, that and the other. But let's look at the Everton team from last night, shall we? Pickford, John Joe Kenny, Mason Holgate, Michael Keane, Ben Godfrey, Jarrod Branthwaite, the scorer of Everton's equaliser. Seriously, who is he? Who I've never heard of him in my life. I was in work last night. I opened my phone to check the score with about 15 minutes left. I see that some Jarrod Branthwaite has scored. I was like, seriously? Wow. Abdoulaye Doucouré, Alex Iwobi, Andre Gomez, Anthony Gordon and Ellis Sims up front for Everton. I don't think they even had a full bench. Your Chelsea team was Mendy, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Azpilicueta, Alonso, James, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Pulisic, Ziyech and Mason Mount. That team should have swept Everton aside, no questions asked. Instead now, I genuinely think it would have to be the mother, father and baby Jesus of all fuck-ups from Liverpool and Manchester City to give Chelsea any chance of winning the league now. And you might call me reactionary. I've had a night to sleep on this and I still think the same way. I think it would have to be a monumental fuck-up, like a fuck-up for the ages, for Chelsea to win the league now. I really do. Like, you're talking now, you'd have to really not drop any more shit points, be able to capitalise if Liverpool and Manchester City slip up against the so-called shit teams, which I can't see happening anyway because they're just so incredibly formidable and inevitable, those two teams. And next time you play Liverpool and Manchester City in the new year, you have to beat them. Like, there's absolutely no other way to do it. Like, we have to beat Liverpool and Manchester City now. That's the only way, but I can't see it doing it. Literally, can you think of anything weaker in this world than Chelsea Football Club in the months of December and January? Honestly, if I could skip December and January every year, like fucking manager career where you can go to the calendar and just skip 2 months at a time, I would absolutely do that. Alright lads, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did disagree with any of my boxes for this midweek fixtures, please let me know in the comment section down below. As I said, November recreations will be out Sunday or Monday, hopefully. And also, will we have a verdict next week? Will the Premier League matches be called off? I wonder. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. And I will catch you later.